where black and white ghosts glide in absolute silence. In the whirlwind of life and death, who is strong enough to escape the ghost of the ocean? Killer whales, the ghost of the sea and the shark hunter. Along the California coast, waves crash against steep cliffs, white foam rising amid the salty sea breeze. Far out at sea, the archipelagos off the Pacific Ocean are home to countless creatures: seabirds, sea lions, dolphins, migrating grey whales. In that diverse picture, there is a giant species that dominates the sand every season. Now, winter is about to return. Mating season for elephant seals. A giant male crawls heavily onto the sand. His body is more than 4 meters long, weighs up to 2.5 tons, massive like a living rock. The thick, rough skin undulated in the sunlight, mottled with scars from previous battles. It raised its head with its characteristic fleshy trunk, took a deep breath, and roared loudly. The deep, long sound echoed against the cliffs along the shore, like an unmistakable declaration of sovereignty. The deep eyes, shining with both tension and eagerness. Just ahead, a female lay resting, smaller in stature, but her gaze was cautious and waiting. In the distance, the sea trembled slightly. She hesitated, then took another step. Unbeknownst to her, the shadow of death had begun to circle. Black fins tore the surface of the sea. The silence was terrifying. Killer whale, the silent predator of the ocean. The body is up to 8 meters long, weighs nearly 6 tons, covered in jet black skin with white patches on the belly and around the eyes, making them ghosts in the sea. They hunt in tight formation, like a deadly orchestra coordinated in rhythm. Each tail swing is a powerful wave, surrounding the prey, cutting off the escape route. The leader follows closely. The others create a gradually narrowing circle. This is the master hunting tactic: coordinate, patient, and absolutely silent before finishing. Suddenly, the killer whale charges. In a split second, life and death are only separated by a line of breaking waves. The sea is calm. The elephant seal, a symbol of strength, is now only a testament to the fragility of survival. But this is not just a hunt. This is a lesson in power. In this world, power does not belong to the biggest, but to those who know how to coordinate and strategize. And that is the secret that makes killer whales the masters of the ocean. Behind the lightning attacks is a complex society of killer whales. Each group is organized according to a matriarchy, where the older females hold a treasure trove of experience about migration routes, hunting spots, and how to avoid predators. They communicate in a special language. The sounds are rapid, the squeals, the taps, like a code that only that group understands. These dialects are so different that groups can be recognized hundreds of kilometers away. They are not simply predators. They are masters of tactics. Each attack is not an outburst, but a symphony of coordination and strategy. The leader sets the direction. Other individuals have their roles: stalkers, interrupters, distractors. Every movement is precise, as if practiced over hundreds of generations. This is the secret of strength, the pack. In the vast ocean, this bond is the only shield for them to maintain their existence. They share food, protect their young, and teach the next generation the most sophisticated hunting skills. When a calf is born, all members care for it and pass on the living legacy of the lineage. Mating is usually seasonal, and never within the kin group. This is an evolutionary strategy to avoid species decline. In the deep water, life continues to be maintained by intelligence and cohesion. What makes this species the true ruler of the ocean? The sea has not yet calmed after the massacre of elephant seals. It is not just the swift predators of killer whales, but the journey of ocean giants. In the distance, a giant grey shadow was silently patrolling. The dorsal fin was raised high like a knife blade, gliding across the water. The great white shark. A lone wanderer. It was nearly 5 meters long. The jet black eyes were emotionless. Each time it snapped, more than 300 dagger-sharp teeth closed together, able to crush even a seal's ribs in an instant. Unlike the killer whales that formed groups, the great white shark was a solitary predator, relying on explosive speed and surprise attacks from below. They often rushed up from the darkness, knocking their prey out of the water. With more than 300 saw teeth and explosive speed, it was the perfect killing machine. But today, it was the one being watched. From the dark water in the distance, 3 giant black fins emerged, cutting through the waves like spears. The pack hunter had returned. The killer whale. They charged straight ahead. The target is the great white's liver. This is a huge organ, accounting for nearly a third of the shark's weight, filled with energy-rich fat. It keeps the shark afloat and allows it to travel long distances. And it is the prize the killer whale always targets. In the vast ocean, where energy is the key to survival, killer whales are more selective and intelligent than any other predator. Great whites are often solitary, moving relentlessly across vast stretches of ocean. They often silently follow schools of seals, sea lions, or large fish. With speeds reaching nearly 40 kilometers per hour in a few short seconds, they are powerful enough to throw their prey out of the water, creating a terrifying scene. Sharks eat all kinds of things, from tuna, sea turtles, diving birds to dolphins, but their favorite prey is still small coastal mammals, rich in fat and energy. However, that power also has its limits. Faced with the intelligence and coordination of killer whales, white sharks are no longer the absolute ruler. Sometimes, just the appearance of a pod of killer whales can cause all the sharks in that sea to disappear for weeks. In the distance, the sea surface slowly ripples. Another giant silhouette under the dark blue water. Grey whales. They are the greatest travelers on the planet. Their giant bodies are up to 15 meters long, weighing over 30 tons, covered with rough grey skin, dotted with scars from barnacles and parasites. The sea is as calm as if it were holding its breath. The waves rippled with heavy echoes. Grey whales are not fierce predators. Their food lies in the mud on the sea floor. With their huge mouths, they suck in both mud and water, then use their baleen plates to filter out tiny creatures, crustaceans, shrimp, crabs and polychaetes. Each dive can last from 5 to 10 minutes, leaving behind a trail of muddy mud spreading out in the water. They often swim slowly along the shore, leaning to one side when feeding, creating long grooves on the bottom. That is also why the right side of the grey whale's jaw is often more worn than the left. The grey whale's journey is also a reproductive journey. Every year, they leave the cold waters of Alaska, traveling more than 10,000 miles south to the warm lagoons of Mexico. There, pregnant females find a quiet place to give birth. A calf is usually about 4 to 5 meters long when born, weighing nearly a ton. For months, the mother whale patiently raises her calf, teaches it how to swim, how to dive, and then returns with her calf on the arduous journey north. Over the course of decades, these long migrations are the red thread that keeps the grey whale alive. Today, the grey whale population has recovered somewhat, but remains fragile in the face of climate change and human intervention. On the surface of the sea, while the giants continue their silent migration, another rhythm of life appears in the sky. It is the bird that guards the warm seas, its long wings spread wide as if gliding with the sea breeze. California pelican, a seabird with an unmistakable appearance. The wings are more than 2 meters long, spread out like grey-brown sails, allowing them to glide along the sea breeze for hours without much effort. The body is covered with dark brown feathers. The head and neck have a pale yellow light. The light blue eyes shine with intelligence. But the most prominent is the long beak, with a giant skin bag hanging from the neck, which can expand like a living net. They hunt in the sky. When they discover a school of small fish right below, they do not hesitate. Suddenly, the pelican closes its wings and dives straight down. The long beak opens wide, the throat bag swells, capturing a handful of panicked fish. In an instant, the prey struggles hopelessly inside that flexible trap. And the reward for that quick display is a full meal in the middle of the ocean. California pelicans are never solitary. They live in large flocks, resting together on rocky outcrops and sandy beaches. During breeding season, the males begin their display to attract mates. They spread their wings, inflate their throats, and tap their long beaks on their chests or the water as a declaration of health. Their nests are often crudely built. Each clutch, the female lays 2 to 3 eggs. Both parents take turns incubating the eggs and caring for the young. Their presence not only decorates the California sky, but is also a measure of the health of the entire ocean. When pelicans thrive, it's a sign that the seas are in balance. And when they're in trouble, it's a warning to all. On the rocky shores of California, the noise is relentless. That's the distinctive call of the California sea lion. The marine mammals are both agile and boisterous. Adult males can weigh up to 900 pounds, with thick necks, muscular bodies, and a heavy swaying gait on the sand, but graceful in the water. Females are smaller, but they also contribute to the flocks of up to hundreds of individuals that crowd the shore. They are skilled fish hunters. With their long, slender bodies, sea lions dive deep, chasing schools of herring, squid, and sardines. Underwater, they move as flexibly as dolphins, swimming at speeds of more than 20 miles per hour. However, their noisy lives are always overshadowed by large predators. Once again, the killer whales appear, reminding that in this vortex, no one is truly safe. The giant black shadow splits the waves. In the blink of an eye, the killer whales charge straight forward. Will they fight back? Sea lions are not creatures that die easily. When attacked, the whole pod often rushes towards the shore in chaos. But all those efforts only prolong the moment because of the overwhelming power and strategy of the killer whales. Sea lions rarely escape their fate if they are chosen as targets. On the sand, they are the masters of the noisy shore. But under the deep blue waves, they are just prey in the harsh vortex of survival. In the vast ocean, Each species carries within itself a fierce survival instinct. The elephant seal with its giant body, the great white shark with its deadly teeth, the agile sea lion or the grey whale persevering on its migration journey. All of these are testaments to the enduring power that nature has bestowed upon them. But at the top of the pile, there are killer whales. With their intelligence, strategy and pack cohesion, they don't just hunt. They rule. They are the true kings of the ocean. And the wild world still has countless breathtaking encounters waiting to be discovered. If you are passionate about spectacular hunting, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you don't miss out on the fiercest stories of the wild world. In the ice and darkness, life does not happen. It fights for every moment. Where cold kills before hunger, only the strongest, the coldest survive. The final frontier of nature, where every mistake is death. In the world of predators, silence is a weapon. And when the sea is calmest, death is near. In an instant, the sea breaks apart. From the darkness of the deep, the shark shoots up like a living arrow. A lightning bite. White foam, red blood in the cold water. Everything ends in silence. Sharks, ghosts of the sea. Before dinosaurs ruled the land, before trees grew into forests, sharks swam in the depths of the ocean. They were prehistoric creatures, survivors of 5 mass extinctions, of hundreds of millions of years of climate and continental change. No need for new weapons, no need for much change. Sharks have long been a near-perfect design, smooth, silent and deadly. Their bodies have no bones, only cartilage, lighter, more flexible. The skin is covered with tiny tooth scales like fish armor, helping to reduce friction, gliding quickly through the water without making any noise. The teeth are arranged in many rows, constantly renewed. Each bite is a time of destruction. The deep black eyes do not blink, silent as stone. On the snout, hundreds of electrosensory organs help them detect heartbeats, muscle movements, even when the prey is hiding. They do not need to see, they feel life. Sharks do not hunt because of hunger, but because of instinct. They are the embodiment of patience and calculation. Quietly circling, waiting for an opening, then striking in a split second. One bite, and the prey disappears into the whirlpool. Their food is extremely diverse. Small fish, squid, seals, sea turtles, even their own kind. Tiger sharks can swallow cans, pieces of wood, tires, anything that smells of life. Hammerhead sharks scan the seabed for fish buried in the sand. Mako sharks chase tuna at speeds of over 70 km/h. Great white sharks leap from the depths, tossing seals out of the water. And whale sharks, huge and gentle, filter thousands of liters of water an hour to collect plankton and small fish. Calm water, clear sky, a peaceful morning in the cold ocean. But under the waves, death awaits its moment. The shark is in no hurry. It waits, and when the time is right, it strikes like lightning. A shadow slithers across the cold seabed. A school of seals glides by, carefree. Suddenly, the great white shark shoots up like an arrow. A bite. White foam. Blood spreads among the cold waves. Just a few seconds. It all ends in silence. Each species is a predatory artist with its own strategy, but all possess a primal instinct that cannot be quenched. They are apex predators, but not just for killing. The shark's true role is to keep ecological order. By destroying sick, old prey, they maintain the delicate balance of the sea. Where sharks disappear, ecosystems quickly fall apart. Shark mating is a strange and brutal behavior. The male grabs the female by the fins to hold her tight as she pairs in the dark water. Some species lay eggs, the mermaid sac lingering among the seaweed. But most give birth to live young, and in the mother's womb the battle has begun. The big embryo eats the small embryo. The strong survive. The weak are never born. There is no room for weakness, not even in the womb. Sharks are not monsters. They are the silent heartbeat of the ocean. A legacy of evolution, a balancer of the world. But the ocean is not just the domain of predators. Amid the cold waves, in the chaotic and restless shoals near the rocky shore, another creature is fighting for life, in a completely different way. That's the seal. Agile, curious, and incredibly intelligent. For them, the ocean is their playground and their battlefield. They swim in schools, darting like arrows through the cold water, leaping out of the sea as if they were playing. But every leap, every dive could be their last. For wherever there are seals, there is always something watching them from below, unmoving, unblinking. Amid the icy rocks of the polar seas, where the ocean collides with the land, diamond-shaped creatures crawl up the beach, soft as a stream, agile as a wave. They are seals, amphibians of the icy ocean. As mammals, seals breathe air, feed their young with milk, but spend most of their lives underwater. Seals' bodies are perfectly adapted for semi-aquatic life. Smooth, rounded bodies, forelimbs transformed into fins, hind limbs extended like rudders. A thick layer of fat under the skin helps keep them warm, while large eyes and long whiskers help them sense subtle movements in the dark water. They have no external ears, but their hearing underwater is extremely sensitive. When swimming, they bend like silk, making little noise, fast enough to escape many dangers, but not all. Seals are medium-sized predators of the sea. Their food is diverse: fish, squid, shrimp, sometimes seabirds and smaller animals. They hunt with speed, agility, and the ability to dive hundreds of meters deep for long periods. Some species can hold their breath for up to 30 minutes. In cold waters, they hunt in groups, herding fish into schools and cutting apart weak ones to attack. A group of penguins waddles to the edge of the ice. They hesitate, then jump into the cold water. Below the sea surface, a leopard seal is waiting. It charges like a living spear. Feathers fly, blood flows, ice breaks silently. In seconds, the white sea turns into an execution ground. But in the world of predators, seals are also prey. They are a favorite target of white sharks, whose surprise attacks from the depths have claimed many lives. killer whales, the ocean's most intelligent predators, are even more terrifying. They know how to throw seals off the ice, drown their calves, and even divide their tactics into groups. On land, life is not easier. Female seals give birth on rocks or ice. The calves are born weighing only a few kilograms and are completely dependent on their mother's milk, which is 10 times richer than cow's milk. Over the next few weeks, the calves grow rapidly to have enough fat for their first days at sea. Mating in seals usually takes place after the breeding season. Males dominating the breeding grounds often fight by threatening, chasing, and sometimes in fierce battles with their hundreds of kilograms of body weight. The winner gets access to more females, but that power doesn't last long. The next season, another one takes over. The entire life of a seal is a mixture of fragility and strength. They are soft but resilient, small in the ocean but not easily subdued. They are the spirits of the cold sea, both prey and predator, living in the thin line between two worlds, the ice and the deep, and seals don't always swim in the water. Sometimes they have to return to the ice shore, where it's colder, quieter, and more dangerous. Because up there, someone is waiting. Not hidden beneath the waves. Not silent like a shark. This one walks on the ice. Weighing over half a ton, standing up to 3 meters tall on 2 legs, and with a sense of smell that can detect the scent of a seal from a kilometer away. A polar bear. The symbol of the north and the nightmare of any creature that dares to rest on the ice. Born to live in the ice, the polar bear is an evolutionary masterpiece of the polar region. Under its thick white fur is a jet black skin, absorbing maximum heat from the weak northern sun. Under the skin is a layer of fat up to 11 centimeters thick, helping to keep warm in the cold wind of -50 degrees and frozen water. Their fur is not really white, but transparent, hollow inside, catching light and reflecting the surrounding environment. That makes them almost invisible in the snow-covered space. Their feet are as big as plates, fringed with hair and rough like thorns, allowing them to grip firmly on the slippery ice surface. Every step is slow, calculated, saving every drop of precious energy. Polar bears do not chase their prey. They stalk, lie in wait, and wait. With their keen sense of smell, they can sniff out a seal resting under a layer of ice more than a meter thick. And they will stand still for hours, motionless, waiting for the right moment for their prey to come up for air to strike the decisive blow. When they have caught their prey, they devour the thick layer of fat, the most energy-rich part. The meat is left for the snow foxes, seagulls, and even other bears, because in the Arctic, life is always recycled. The polar bear's favorite food is ringed and bearded seals, but when things are scarce, they will eat anything: fish, bird eggs, reindeer, even washed-up whale carcasses. And if they are too hungry, they will eat their own kind. A seal lies sunning itself on the ice. The polar bear approaches silently. A charge. A muffled cry. Blood stains the snow. The bear lowers its head, tearing flesh in the cold wind. It's all over in seconds. Mating season takes place in late spring. The male tracks the female across hundreds of miles of snow. After mating, they leave, and the female sets out on the loneliest journey of her life. She finds a winter den, a deep snow cave. There, in the darkness and bitter cold, 2 or 3 cubs are born, the size of mice, blind and hairless. For 3 months they live entirely on their mother's milk, thicker and richer than any other mammals. When spring comes, the mother breaks through the thick snow, leading her cubs into the light for the first time. But the ordeal has only just begun. The cubs must learn to walk on ice, swim through cold water, and survive in a melting world. Frozen. Silent. A world where life and death are separated by a breath. Sharks, seals, polar bears, 3 survivors of the extreme. But the ice is melting. The line between survival is thinner than ever. And if they disappear, the oceans will never be the same. They live on 3 different worlds. They do not intersect. They do not need to see each other. But every breath of one touches the survival of the other. The shark keeps the ocean in order. The seal is the fragile link, both the hunter and the hunted. The polar bear walks on the ice, feeding on the hunger of both. No words. No compassion. just nature, precise, ruthless and silent. And when the ice melts, silence will be the last thing left.